because it's a...
Well, you nailed it, man. I can see by my emails you absolutely nailed it.
Well, we'll come back on to Unite the Kingdom because retrospectively, I'm glad you asked me because that's in the history books and I'm really proud of what you've put together. And I've never been part of any movement group. I'm not tribal. I fly solo and I've never, ever thought I want to be part of that until Unite the Kingdom.
What feeling was it, man?
Just brilliant. Now that we're on the Unite the Kingdom train, explain what is Unite the Kingdom? What inspired you to build that, and where do you expect it to go and grow?
So go and grow. The first one, 30,000 outside Parliament. Next one, over 100,000. Next one, 150, 200,000. And I said the next one, 500,000. And you know the next one, like, as I said, the next one, the Petersons have just agreed to be guest speakers. We've got Polish politicians, Danish politicians, German politicians. Some famous people from America are travelling in, Australia, Canada, all over the world. There's a battle for freedom. And you know what makes me happy? The battleground is central London. The battleground is central London. And we win it by celebrating in the most peaceful manner. But what's mad is, when I went to jail, I'm sat in jail, and I wanted my team to come in, the team I work with at Urban Scoop. And they come in on a visit, and I said, right, if I get out of here on the 25th of July, because that was my release date, if I get out of here on the 25th of July, is it possible for us to make a documentary? Let me tell you what I'm going to do, episode 6, Rape of Britain. We're going after Labour. Yeah, that's how I'm punching back against these fuckers. I'm going to expose every one of them. I've got it all up here. It's already done. I've done 3 documentaries while I'm in there. I've wrote them out. I've got them all planned. So get out on the 25th of July. Just answer me. If I go gun for leather, can you produce it into a film for the 13th of September? And they're like, I won't name him, but the main editor, cameraman said, yeah, I can do that. I said, right, sounds. Okay, that's it. We're going for it. We're going for September 13th. Pick the date, send the invites, make a professional invite, send it to these people. So I'm doing it all on my visits because on my phone, I'm not allowed to ask people to do anything. I ask anyone to do anything online or anything like that, they cancel the phone. So I'm live monitored, so it's only on visits. I'm sitting there thinking, how the hell I'm glad I got out 3 months early. How would I go out on the 25th of July and in 6 weeks done that? Now, because the pressure would have been insane. I'm out now. I've gone mad for 2 weeks. I've already lined up, spoke to confirmed guests, speakers from all over the world. And I'm about to take a break, and a much needed break. After this, Liam, after I've spoke to you, I go away Sunday, going to have at least, I don't know, I've booked for a week. I take 2 of my kids. One of my daughters is away somewhere, but just me and the kids, just to have a break because I've come out 100 miles an hour. But the importance for me is that people don't feel alone, and people who share our politics and people who have concern for Great Britain have been made to feel like they're isolated, like they're a fringe voice. We're the mainstream. And trust me on that. You know, we are the vast majority of the country, but we've been fooled and scared and smeared and slandered and silenced into not speaking freely. And that's why these events, which brings so many people together, gives people the opportunity to realise that they're part of something much bigger. And it's beautiful. And do you know why it's beautiful? Because I explained it once before. I'm going to do it this year, to Poland on November 11th. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's Polish Independence Day. I went there in 2015, I think. And when I went there, 250,000 Poles were celebrating. Children on their shoulders, Polish flags, banners, flares. And I remember standing there, and I'd done the video, and I said, "Feel that? I can feel that. The hairs on the back of my neck were standing up." I said, "I can feel power. That is the power of people coming together for a common cause." And I could feel it. And I went away and thought, we don't have that. And I interviewed Polish people, and they said, who had been in England, and they said, your elder generation know who they are. Your new generation, they're lost. They're totally lost. And they're right. They've lost their culture. They've lost their identity. When we had our Unite the Kingdom event, when we stood in Trafalgar Square, we packed the whole of Trafalgar Square, well over 100,000 people, as far as your eyes could see. Yeah? The beautiful atmosphere. I felt the same feeling. I remember standing there feeling it. I remember feeling this is what I felt in Poland. It's here. It's here. It took a long time. But now that feeling of camaraderie, the brother and sisterhood, the feeling of being together, and the feeling of pride, hope, patriotism, everything, love, it was there. And I looked at it, and that has coincided at the same time, that feeling, with what I'd say is the revival of Christianity in the UK. I I've seen that. It's hard to explain. It was the first demonstration in I think the mention of God turns a lot of people off. That's what I feel. In the UK, I think.
Well, it does. I can tell you by the analytics, anytime I interview somebody, during the process of the interview, as soon as someone starts mentioning God, Christ, Jesus, the analytics takes a dip. People are switched off to it.
Well, don't switch off to this, because when I watched, it was the Paris Olympics and the opening ceremony was satanic. And it was a total attack on Christianity and the core beliefs of Christianity and Jesus. It was disgusting. And if someone who wasn't out to defend Christianity at every point, I watched it and just thought, that's done my head in watching that. They would not do that for Islam or Muhammad. They wouldn't mock in such a way at the opening ceremony. Why have they done that? So then we went to the first event, and I gave the microphone to Speaker's Corner Bob, because I knew he was a masculine Christian, and I wanted to counter what I'd seen. And I saw the public's reception to him, and then I saw someone holding a banner saying "Christ is King," as everyone marched past, and I saw the crowds cheering, and I thought, wow. And then we had Trafalgar Square, and there must be 100,000 people chanting "Christ is King." I'm thinking, something's happening here. Something big is happening here. And I think that if you look at when I look now, and I met a brilliant pastor in jail. He was fabulous. For too long, I've met Christian leaders in prison and just thought, no wonder your church is empty. Yeah,
Too weak.
Weak. Cowards. The Christian church, what's it known for now in the UK? What, flying rainbow flags? Give us a fucking break. Yeah? Of course no one's in your church, right? Christianity would not be here now if it wasn't weak and pathetic, as many of these leaders have made it. Yeah, I believe that the church has been infiltrated. But I look at what's happening with Christianity in America. I look at some of their priests and pastors talk. But I looked and something was happening. And the statistics now show something's happening. And I think it's happening because, and I went through the Bible, I had Bible studies. I had that's the one thing I had on a Monday. I had 45 minutes with the pastor, personally. He was an Asian pastor, lovely man, great man. And I had individual meetings with him. And as I went through the Bible, which I've never done, I've gone through the Quran before I've wrote my own Quran before I've gone through the Bible. And as I went through it, I realised everything is from the Bible. Every saying, everything. Every part of what our country has been built has come from the Bible. So to people who don't even believe in the story of Jesus or have that belief, it's that's built the culture of Great Britain. That is the reason this country has become such a beautiful nation.